भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवा भद्रं पश्येम अक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्ट्वांसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं जदायुः
How can monism, that is Advaita, and dualism, that is Dvaita, with reference to the Upanishads, be shown to be one and the same? Neither the Advaitis nor the Dvaitis would accept this equation. Each side is biased by what their preceptors have said, and the debate goes on about which is the right view. I think if we can see that both are same, many confusions would get resolved. But how do we do that within the framework of the Upanishads? Let me try to explain this in as simple words as possible. Let me start with the well-known verse from the Chandogya Upanishad, which describes how the world came into existence. It says, "In the beginning, this," that means the source of this world, "alone existed, which was one and only thing. Agre idam ekam eva advitiyakam asit." That will to be many. Tat bahusyam prajayeya iti aikshata. Chandogya Upanishad 6.2.2 and 3. The Upanishad goes on to explain how this one and only thing, which the Upanishad refers to as Sat, became three basic material elements, and how these material elements combined together in various proportions to become furthermore forms. This constituted the material world, which is insentient. Gradually, various physical bodies were formed. Then, that being thought, let me enter these bodies formed by these three basic elements by taking the form of individual souls so that I can divide them into individual names and forms. Sa iyam devata aikshata aham anena jivena atmana ima tisra devata anupravishya nama rupe vyakaravani. Chandogya Upanishad 6.3.2. This is how this world came into existence according to the Upanishads. Even other Upanishads explain almost the same way. But Shankara has a problem with this description, admitting that Sat transformed itself into many bodies and souls amounts to saying that Sat is subject to change. Anything that changes cannot be eternal. But Sat or Brahma, as Shankara refers to it, is eternal. So Shankara dismisses the entire narration as just a symbolic way of saying that whatever exists is nothing but Brahma. In that case, what about this story? Shankara says that its purpose is just to drive home the point that what we see as world, including the material things and the souls, etc., is nothing but Brahma or Sat. This creation never took place. If at all it took place, then it is a creation of the Maya Kalpita, and not real. It is Mithya. This is Shankara's Advaita philosophy, put succinctly as Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya, Jivo Brahmeva na para. Brahma is the only reality. This world or diversity is an illusion. The individual soul is none other than the Brahma. But the dualists or the Dvaitis like Madhva disagree. Madhva said that all the three, the material world, that is Jada, the individual soul, that is Jivatma, and the Supreme Soul, that is the Paramatma or Brahma, are all real. Not just real, they are eternal too. The difference is that the material world and the Jivatma are not independent and they depend on the Paramatma, which is the only independent thing. Obviously, there are three categories of things, not just one: Brahma, Jivatma, and material world. So it's a world of multiplicity or non-advaita or dual or dvaita. These seem diametrically opposing views. How do we reconcile between them? For that, we need to look at the verses that we discussed earlier more closely and ignore Shankara's objection to taking it as reality. Let us say it really happened. What then? Does it amount to saying that Sat can undergo changes and hence it is non-eternal? No, it does not imply that. If you look at the long chain of events that were described, I have skipped them for brevity. Sat existed as Sat even after it became many. Three elements, combination of three elements, physical bodies, individual souls, etc. How is it possible that something can become something else and still remain unchanged? That is the hangover we have from the space-time limited world that we live in. In our world, a thing can be in one place at any given instant of time. It cannot be in multiple places at the same time. That is the space-time limit that binds us to this world. So we can be in only one place at a time. Extending this logic, we can show that we can be in only one form at any given time. I'll skip that reasoning. But if you see the Upanishads always describe Sat or Brahma as beyond space and time. So, our limits don't apply to Brahma. Brahma or Sat can be in more than one place, in more than one form, all at once. For doing that, Brahma need not have to undergo transformation. It just replicates itself into as many forms as it wishes to. This is what is described by the above verses in the Upanishad. The original form multiplied into many, but remained as it was, without any change. So there is no threat to its eternality. So we don't need to take this story as symbolic, nor at least for this reason. We don't need to invent the concept of illusion or Maya as Shankara did. Both the Brahma as well as the material world as well as the Jivatma are all real and there is no illusion. So multiplicity is real. But what multiplied as many? It is the same thing. So in essence, what exists as many things is nothing but the very same thing, Brahma or Sat. So this is almost Shankara's Advaita except for the Mithya part. Now coming to Madhva, his theory of multiplicity is also right since there are multiple forms, material world, Jivatma and Paramatma or Brahma. But are all these three kinds of things exactly equal? No, when a form is taken, it is bound by some specific properties associated with that form. And it is these properties that differentiates between them even when they are all same in the essence. How? Let me explain this with a simple example. You have water, ice and steam. Are these same? Definitely not. Water is liquid, it can flow, it can quench your thirst, etc. Similarly, ice is solid, it is cold, it cannot flow, it cannot quench your thirst, etc. Same is the case with steam. Each has a different property, different form, different usage. But are they different? No. All of them are forms of H2O. So, if you look at the essence, they are same. But as long as they have some form, they are different with different appearances, with different capabilities, Nama and Rupa. So, if we can transcend our space-time limited world and look beyond into Brahma's world, we can see that there is no difference between Dvaita and Advaita in the real sense. I can go on, showing that even the Mandukya Upanishad description of Atma being in 4 different states simultaneously can be explained this way without rejecting the dualistic world altogether while maintaining the Advaita.
Oh